Now we're going to multitask. I'm going to put my pasta water on low so I'll have it warming up, and when I'm ready to put the pasta in, it'll already be warm and I don't have to wait for it. So I filled my pot halfway with water, and now what I'm going to do is add a large amount of salt. Now you cannot be afraid to salt your water when it comes to pasta, because this is the only time you're going to get it seasoned. So I like to put about 3 good pinches of salt in there. And then one thing I also like to do is add a little bit of olive oil to keep the pasta from not only sticking to the pot, but from sticking to itself. So I'd say about a tablespoon, maybe half a tablespoon, just enough so that you know it's not going to stick. Now in my household, my father thinks it's not a meal unless you have some sort of bread at the table. So I'm going to show you how to prepare some bread and make it healthy. Now we're going to slice our bread. And I'm going to slice it on the diagonal so it's slanted a little bit. And it's best to cut bread with a serrated knife, and that is a knife that has the little ridges in it, just like that. And the little teeth help grab onto the bread. And I'm slicing my bread approximately about 1 inch thick, so you do the same thing. Saw your knife back and forth gently, and do not try to press into the bread because you will squish it and it will not be very good. Now again with my father, not only does he think unless you have bread the meal is not complete, he doesn't think bread is bread if it doesn't have butter on it. So what I'm going to do is use the spreadable canola butter. And this is not as bad as regular butter, but you do want to use it in minimal amounts. If you want to cut out your calories altogether though, you can always use a non-stick spray like an olive oil or a butter flavored like Pam. So I'm going to use my Duff Goldman spreader to spread my butter on. So just get some of your butter. Take your bread and just spread it around. And this bread is whole wheat. Now I forgot to take my butter out before spreading it, so it's a little bit cold. And if that happens to you, just put a little blob on each piece of bread and let it sit out for a little while, and then right before you get ready to put it in the oven, spread out your butter evenly. Now that I only have 10 minutes left on my sauce, I'm going to start bringing my water to a boil. Let's check on our sauce. Doesn't that look good? Now, if your sauce is a little too thick, don't be afraid to add some water to thin it down, but be careful not to add too much so that you don't make it watery. I have my water boiling, and it looks like my butter is ready to spread. So I'm just going to take it and spread it evenly over my bread. Now, I'm going to turn this from plain old butter bread to fantastic garlic bread. So I'm just going to take my Lawry's garlic salt and sprinkle it all over my bread. And you want to put enough on there so you get that garlic flavor, but not so much that it's way overpowering. Now that my water has come to a rolling boil, I'm going to add my pasta in. And I'm adding about half a box, but depending on how much you want to make, you can put in however much you want. I'm going to get a wooden spoon to put it in with. Make sure it's completely submerged in the water. Okay. And this only takes 6 minutes. So I'm going to do that. Stir your pasta occasionally to keep it from sticking to the bottom of the pot and from sticking to itself. The pasta just finished, and now we're toasting up our bread.